Well, hello, dear viewer. I thought I'd do something slightly different, which is why you're down there and I'm up here. um, and the other thing is, I'm recording this on Sunday afternoon, but I'm going to call it something like Sunday on a Monday or something like that, because this one is a kind of special review, as you can probably see by both the title of this video and the kind of setup that I've done. Um, yeah, the other thing is I'm actually in hospital on Monday, so you'll probably be watching this on Monday, and I'll be lied up in the in the bedroom recovering from my my procedures and all that kind of stuff. But don't worry about that, dear viewer. We are doing a bit of a kind of Sunday taste off, beer off, stout off between the Nigerian um, foreign export by Guinness. This is the Nigerian one that's got the sorghum in it, sorghum wheat or whatever, as an adjunct, versus this one, the Jamaican Dragon Stout. Um, and I picked these bad boys up from a cheap supermarket called Home Bargains in the UK. And I believe that was £1.50, maybe 160, and I think this one was either £2 or just under £2, 180 or something. And they're both proper strong bad boys. This one is it's on there somewhere, 7.5, and this is a 325 bottle. They're in weird bottle sizes as well. And this one is in a 284 bottle, which again is quite bizarre, and 7.5. So they're both similar strengths, um, but we're going to see which one I like better and all that kind of stuff. I mean, just look at the bottles for a start. Fantastic. Ignore the size because the size is weird. Even though you can get this one in a bigger bottle, I think it's up to a 600, so it's well over a pint, but it's not the Nigerian one. It's This beer is contract brewed in 3 different places. There's the UK one, the Nigerian one, and I believe there's an American one going now as well. So I think the bigger bottles are the UK base one, which doesn't have the sorghum in. Very, very bizarre, crazy. And obviously this one, Jamaican, which is cool. Right, let's use Venus, not as a fly trap, but to get these bad boys. Look at that, bit of smoke on there, which is absolutely fantastic. Oh, by the way, I'm using the Canterbury Founders glasses because, believe it or not, these are the only glasses that I have, apart from wine glasses, that are actually two of, because I've broken some of the other ones. So what I want to try and do, get a good amount in the glass. Wow, I wasn't expecting so much head off that bad boy, but there we go. There's the Guinness. And here comes the Dragon Stout, which, like I say, is the Jamaican version. This is becoming harder to find as well. I was quite happy when I saw it in Home Bargains. And I wasn't planning on buying these. I wasn't going there purely to buy these, but I was surprised because you used to see these quite a lot more than you do these days, which is always sad to see. Okay, let's top the Nigerian one up. Boom. There we go. So, looks wise, very, very similar. We've got a finger's head on both. The colour of the head is basically the same. Dark as Satan's codpiece. If you gave these to people, they would think it was a Guinness of some type. I'm sure they would. Maybe not a normal Guinness draft because of the head and the way it's disappearing. It's not a nitro beer. That's one thing I should say. Um, but maybe a Guinness original or something along those lines. Really, really cool. I'm loving the branding. This sort of foil thing makes a huge difference. Coming from Nigeria, you know, um, yeah, maybe people would kind of fettle with it. Again, we've got a neck chief on the Dragon Stout. Perfect. Branding on both of the caps, which is quite cool. There's a dragon over here, and there's the Guinness harp on this bad boy. Life is good when you have this kind of stuff. So, where should I start? Well, I've had the Guinness export before, so I think I'm going to start with the Dragon Stout. We'll see where we get. Cheers and beers. Oh, if you haven't done so already, do all those good things for the metrics of this video. Leave comments down below, etc., etc. Cheers and beers. Mm, that is very nice. Nice and creamy. There's quite a bit of residual sweetness in there too, um, which is fantastic. Creamy, but there's still a little bit of kind of, there's not a huge amount of substance there. For a beer that's 7.5%, I was expecting more oomph, but I'm not getting that at all. This is kind of what I would call a sweet stout, even though the ABV is 7.5%, which is ridiculous, really, when you think about it. And you can buy these beers in the supermarket, for God's sake. That's probably why they're in these small little glass bottles. You don't want to get absolutely hammered, or maybe you do, but you can buy them in crates as well. Um, Lovely and sweet. Like I say, creaminess, a little bit thin on the mouthfeel, but a really nice sweet stout. Fantastic. Right, let us try the Nigerian bad boy. Whoa. Okay. This one's got a lot more kind of oomph to it. Bitterness, astringency. I'm no doubt saying coming from the sorghum wheat. Um, there's a good deal of hop bitterness there too, which is nice. Again, mouthfeel is quite light. I don't want to say these beers are watery because they're so strong, but they're quite thin in the mouthfeel. And I know Guinness usually is quite thin anyway, but this kind of up the ante a bit. I know that this is made from a kind of syrup which they import, and then obviously the Nigerian side of the brewery brew it up with extra sugars, and that's where the sorghum comes in. They add the sorghum wheat to get a bit more, yeah, a bit more ABV in there, basically. Yeah, and they've gone completely nuts because this is 7.5%, and then people mix it. Both of these beers, people do mix it with other things. I might be doing. There's like a beer. It's like a beer cocktail called Black and Tan. Used to be really popular back in the day, but it has some connotations from the police, I believe, doing some naughty things as they do. I think it all came back to the Irish and where the Guinness comes in. But what you do is you usually take a light beer, probably an IPA or something along those lines, and then float stout or Guinness on the top of it. So you have obviously the black on the top and the tan bit on the bottom. So I'm going to try and do one of those. Not with these beers. That would be absolutely crazy. Just no. Right, this one very much bitter. So if you like your bitter drinks, the Nigerian Guinness is probably the way to go. I should have probably given the aroma to start with. That's what I usually do. Interesting. This is not giving too much away, but that has got a very interesting aroma. This is more creamy, smooth, even on the nose. Pardon me. Quite well carved. Look, we do have a nice amount of lacing on the glass. There's no tide lines on these bad boys, but hey. Lovely stuff. There we go. We have got a tide line there. Not a very tight one, and that'll probably fall down the glass, but we'll see. Lovely, smooth, sweet. This one, the Dragon Stout, has a little bit more body, I would say, than the actual Guinness. But the Guinness has that oomph, that sort of gnarliness, to it, which is nice. Now, I was going to go for the aroma because there's definitely something in the aroma which is it's definitely some sort of adjunct or some sort of malt that they use, perhaps the sorghum in there, but have a kind of sweet, almost coffee-like, but it's not like that. It's more liqueur, like a coffee liqueur kind of nose. It might even be the alcohol itself coming off the beer and going into my nose. Really nice, but it doesn't follow through in the mouth because the mouth is proper grab your face and slam it into the table kind of stuff. But the nose is quite mellow and misleading. I will gently lead you down the path to drunkenness from drinking a 7.5% beer, or in this case, two. Oh, yeah, more dry. Definitely a funny kind of astringency and stuff coming from the darkness. Whereas this one, the sweetness really takes your hand and leads you gently. This one sort of drags you down the garden path. But there's definitely more malty kind of wrongness going on with this bad boy. You know what I'm going to do? As sometimes I do. I haven't done one of these pairing up videos for a while, but I usually mix them together. So there we go. As a fine ambassador for the world of drinking, I have mixed Nigerian and Jamaican together into into a crazy bastard drink. Look at that. Looks really cool. See what we get with this bad boy. Okay, so it's taken the edge off. I'm hoping the Dragon Stout's kind of sweetness and creaminess is going to take the edge off the astringency from the sorghum stroke other adjuncts. I don't know exactly what they have in there. Weirdly, Nigerian drinks tend to have like banana in as well, but not according to the ingredients list. I'm sure Guinness would say something about that, wouldn't they? Hmm, interesting. It's kind of taken the edge off a little bit of the kind of gnarliness of the Guinness. But then by doing that, it's taken away kind of what this beer would be. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely crazy. I think in my present kind of drinking, I have to give it to the Dragon Stout. I think I'm more into a kind of sweet stout kind of at the moment. Pardon me. But if you like your stouts to be proper gnarly, there is nothing wrong with the Guinness Foreign Extra Nigerian Stout. That's a mouthful, but it does give you that kind of that overly kind of burnt, overly malty, like I said, astringency coming from Africa. Do you know what I mean? And that's crazy because I'm part African myself. Uh, but I think I have to give it to the sweet stout. So there we go. We have got the Dragon Stout versus the Nigerian Guinness. This has been Unclejona. Hopefully you'll send me a message saying get better soon because I'm back under the knife over in Canterbury, and I will be recovering, um, not from these two beers, but I'll be recovering from my operation. Um, I will be back. Don't worry, unless for some unknown reason something goes really bad. But I'm hoping it won't do. I'll be back for more beer reviews real soon. And until then, get yourself down to Home Bargains if you live in the UK. And why not give both of these a go? And let me know in the comments down below what you think. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and Unclejona will return.